Welcome to Redtastic. Story 1. I, 30 female, and my husband, 32 male, have been married for a year now. But before him, I was married to my ex-husband, 34 male, for 5 years, before we divorced due to irreconcilable differences. I got pregnant with my present husband, and we had a shotgun wedding. Our marriage has been blissful, my perfect expectation of a healthy marriage. Our bond increased when I got pregnant, and I've never been this happy in a long time. The problem is that my ex-husband's parents found out about my baby. They saw my pregnancy photo shoots on Facebook and started trying to reconnect for the wrong reasons. When I was married to their son, I could not conceive despite trying for years. I was 17 when I married my first husband, and I was very naive about a lot of things. But after a few years of trying for a child, I decided to see a doctor. I was told to run some tests, and from the results they got, they certified me medically okay. So I asked my ex-husband to go check himself to see if the delay was from him. He kicked against it and called me names for suggesting that he needed to get tested. My ex-husband is one of these old-fashioned men who believe a woman is 100% responsible for issues concerning conception. His parents are no different. They constantly talked down on me and called me names for being barren. They labeled me infertile, although I was medically sound and certainly fertile. Ex-hubby was even worse. He belittled everything I did and called me half-woman. They subjected me to constant verbal abuse for years. I lost myself to depression and self-pity, thinking I was at fault and not knowing what to do. I left the marriage for the sake of my sanity and served him divorce papers afterwards. I met my husband after I left my former marriage. Now my former in-laws are trying to claim my child as their son's child. They have been calling me, asking intrusive questions about my baby and trying to set up a meeting with me. At first, I politely turned down their suggestions, reminded them that I am no longer legally bound to their family. And since we were not on the best of terms in the first place, I see no reason we should meet up after a year of total silence from their end. But my ex-mother-in-law wouldn't take no for an answer. She outright said that the marriage is for a lifetime and that as long as I live, I am their son's wife. They claim the divorce papers mean nothing to them, and when I pointed out that I've moved on and I'm married, they said I was just acting up to make their son upset and that he was unhappy about it because I was keeping his child away from him. Things moved from bad to worse since they kept calling to inquire about their grandchild. And no matter how many times I corrected them and warned them to stop calling, they never stopped or took corrections. I know how stubborn they can get, so I blocked them. I thought I had gotten rid of them, but I was in for a surprise when my ex-husband came to my house to see his child. I freaked out when I saw him, so I immediately called the cops on him. Now his parents have been blowing up my phone with strange numbers asking why I called the cops on their son. I told them to stop calling me and to keep their son away from me, or I'll file a restraining order against them. Now they're saying I'm an a-hole for calling the cops on my ex-husband and trying to put him in trouble. Am I the a-hole in this case? Update. I wrote about calling the cops on my ex-husband after he tried to visit my child. I have had a level of peace as he and his parents took my warning seriously and have stopped trying to call me. I heard that they told people that my baby is their son's child. But I don't pay attention to malicious gossip. My husband is very understanding and we are planning on moving away from here to a better location. My baby and I are in perfect health and I'm enjoying motherhood as best I can. You're not the a-hole, OP. I'm glad you're living a much better life now. Your ex-husband and his parents are nuisances. I'm glad you're free of them. Your in-laws should face the reality of things and accept that their son is infertile instead of claiming a grandkid that isn't theirs. I'm glad your husband was very understanding and supportive during all of this. I wish you both a long-lasting and happy marriage and home. Take care, OP. Story 2. My family, mom, dad, preteen brother, teenage sister, were staying with me and my fiancé at our place. They got here on the 1st and were meant to stay until the 21st. My parents have always had knocking-related issues, which is part of why I was so happy to move out of their place. On getting here, Mom decided to make everyone breakfast every single day. I think this is very nice of her. She makes it when she wakes up at 7 and it's done at 7:30. So if anyone isn't awake and sits at the table for 7:30, she will come get them. My fiancé and I are not morning people, and even before lockdown, we never had to get up before 8. But now we're working from home, we've been getting up closer to 10. So for a week, Mom has been barging into our room to wake us every morning. It's summer, or at least summer adjacent. It is hot as hell, so my fiancé is usually in boxers and I'm just in my underwear, comfy bras and pants. My fiancé has a couple scars on his chest from a surgery years ago, and my bra has a tendency to roll up, down, left and right. So on any given morning, we could look like anything. This morning, Mom said she had a click and collect order to get from the supermarket, so she and my sister went to get it. They came back and Mom picked up a bag and asked me to talk in another room. I went with her and she handed me the bag, which contained 4 pairs of pajamas, 2 men, 2 women, all supermarket own brand. They're full-on long trouser, long sleeve things with cuffs around the wrists and ankles to stop them slipping too far. Mom basically said she got them so she doesn't have to see mine and my fiancé's bare chest every morning, as it's making her feel awkward. I then said that there was another way she could stop barging into our bedroom every morning. This caused Mom to get annoyed and a fight started pretty quickly, where her side was that she felt unwelcome because she had to see that every morning, and I said that it was our house and she needs to learn to knock. Eventually, Mom complained that it didn't feel like home, and I responded that it's not their home. Mom then went and told everyone to pack their bags because clearly they are not welcome here. They were out in the car in less than 10 minutes. It's 4 a.m., 12 hours after the fight, and I've had dozens of texts from all 4 of them. They're currently at a crappy hotel in the next town because we're a 10-hour drive from home. They all want to come back. I've said no. They're calling me an a-hole because I kicked them out over sleepwear and won't let them come back despite everyone having had time to cool off and Mom apologizing, although it was half-arsed. My fiancé is actually relieved they're gone, but I said they can come back if I want as his family have stayed for a full month before now. But I'm torn between being annoyed at Mom trying to take over my house and feeling ridiculous because this is all over Mom buying me pajamas. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole at all, OP. First, you didn't kick them out over pajamas. They got into a huff and decided to leave on their own. Actions have consequences. Second, your mom clearly overstepped, waking you up each morning and coming into your room unasked. Third, her issue with what you choose to sleep in your own house is not her concern. It's your house and you sleep how you want. Finally, your sleepwear would not be a problem if Mom wasn't barging in to wake you up when she thinks you should be getting up. Now for some comments. Not the a-hole. Frankly, you didn't kick them out. You just refused to cave to your mom behaving like a 12-year-old. Maybe you could have, if you didn't, told her how you felt before instead of waiting for her to say something before you did. Personally, I would let her back, but only if she pulled an actual apology that I believe out of her ass. Not the a-hole. A couple of things. Number 1, your house, your rules. Number 2, your mom is crossing boundaries trying to take control of your household. Number 3, she kicked herself out. You did not. Number 4, she doesn't mean her apology. She only said sorry to get what she wants. Don't let her come back until she learns to respect you and your home. Not the a-hole. You did a lot better than me. I would have stayed in bed after the first day or 2 and skipped breakfast. That was her way of controlling the house. You had some terrific answers to her trying to make you into her and your home hers. Honestly, I feel like I would have thrown the pajamas out in the yard, so you did well, girl. If you really want them back, make it on your terms. Respecting your privacy and sleep schedule and no pajamas. Story 3. I, 34 male, have a daughter with my ex-wife, 36 female, named Sarah, 7 female. To say in the nicest way, my ex and I had a very bad divorce and she tried to get 100% custody. I had a good lawyer and our custody arrangement is she gets Sarah for the weekdays and I get her for the Friday, Saturday and she goes back on Sunday. Well, Sarah is really curious and loves to be involved with everything. This includes cooking. When she was 5, she started to help out in the kitchen. For example, if I was making cookies, she would measure the ingredients and put them in the bowl. She loves it and has been taking on more and more tasks, like breaking the eggs and forming patties. It got to the point where I decided it would be a good time to teach her how to use the burners. Well, the stove is still too big for her, so I got her an electric burner for her to use, and it's safer than an open flame. This was when she turned 7, and I went through the whole safety aspect and she handles it pretty well. So far, she only knows how to make easy things like scrambled eggs and grilled cheese. She really enjoys it. So last night, we were out all day and got takeout. It was Chinese food and Sarah has never had it before. She didn't like it, so I wasn't going to make her eat it. Sarah wanted to have some eggs instead, and I told her why doesn't she make some? So we go to her area with the electric burner and she starts to cook. She gets her eggs from the fridge, scrambles them, puts some bread in the toaster. Everything was fine and she made herself eggs for dinner. Well, I dropped her off at my ex's today and later I got an angry phone call about how dare I make her cook her own dinner. That I am a parent and should be doing the cooking and that I'm a jerk. We argued about it. I told my sister this, and she also called me a jerk. So am I the a-hole? Now for some comments. Not the a-hole. You did provide dinner for her. She didn't want it, and you were both fine with her making herself something else, while properly supervised. Good job helping her learn how to cook too. My son loves to cook. He started learning in kindergarten, I think. He can already cook better than a lot of adults I know. There's nothing wrong with teaching a kid how to cook, especially if they're interested. This is a life skill that will serve her well. I don't know what it is with adults who send their kids into adulthood with no idea how to do basic chores. My kids have had classes on basic skills because so many parents no longer teach them. It's mandatory, which annoys the hell out of my son. Not the a-hole, absolutely. I see it more this way. You let Sarah do something she loves, cooking. I dare say that Sarah had a wonderful evening. She not only got to see her father respect her when she didn't like the Chinese food, instead of forcing her to eat it like many a parent would, and she also went to cook something she loves to eat. Oh, and of course, she is learning how to be a fabulous cook, all at the age of 7. Be proud of your daughter and you respect her feelings. Don't let your ex ruin something lovely.